what's up, beautiful people, and welcome back to the Womanhood podcast, where we talk about all things intersectionality of womanhood and what that looks like on a college campus. It's your girl Nessa here with my new co-host Kirsten. Say what's up, Kirsten.
Hello, everyone. I'm very excited to be here.
I'm so excited to have Kirsten as a new co-host this year. The conversation and topics we're going to talk about are going to be so amazing, but I want you all to get to know who Kirsten is. She is new to the podcast, but let's play a get to know you tag, Kirsten. So let's started.
Do it.
Tea or coffee?
Tea, but if it's coffee, cold brew. I'm a big tea drinker for sure.
Second one, what is your favorite TV show right now?
I May Destroy You on HBO with Michaela Cole. It's incredible. Highly recommend. Make sure to check out the content warnings online before you watch it, but it's amazing. Truly an unprecedented work of art. It's amazing.
Alrighty, awesome. Are you team iPhone or team Android?
So I'm team Android, but I also have a Mac. I have a Mac though, so I'm kind of a traitor on both sides.
Yeah, that's kind of like me. I have an iPhone, but then I have a Windows computer. So
why would you do it like that? I feel like Androids are clearly superior phones, but Macs are clearly superior computers. And you've got it wrong on both sides, Vanessa.
You get the best of both worlds on this side. Song to describe how your 2021 has been so far.
Oh. What's a song that describes just okay? Not particularly bad, but not amazing either. Okay, yes, I've got a good one. So I would say my 2021 attitude can be best described by the song Modern Girl by the band Sleater-Kinney. It's kind of an oldie, but it is fantastic. It's sort of a soft Riot Girl punk rock song. It's great, and Sleater-Kinney's incredible, and everyone should listen to them.
Awesome. So I'll make sure to check them out. I never actually heard of them. I've been trying to get some new artists in my playlist. There's so many people out there, so wanting to see a lot of local, listening to a lot of local artists too. I found myself doing that, so definitely will check them out. So all about love. We're in the month of February. It's already February. We were just in January, so we're already in February, and as you know, this is considered the month of love and also Black History Month, which is pretty amazing too. But for today's episode, we're focusing primarily on the 5 love languages. I'm pretty sure you've heard of the 5 love languages. If you haven't, we'll be talking about it in depth today, even taking our quiz today. So stay tuned for that. A book that was created by Gary Chapman, and it outlines the 5 general ways that individuals express and experience love in both romantic and platonic relationships. I know a lot of people have used the 5 love languages to focus more so on romantic relationships, but definitely these languages can be used in platonic relationships, relationship with your mom, your dad, knowing how to grow and develop healthy friendship as well as healthy conversations.
It's also helpful, I will say, as a young professional, it's very helpful in navigating workplace relationships too, which, we don't necessarily think of love languages as much in the workplace, but it's very important to know how to affirm people and how to communicate with people more effectively in a way that they're going to vibe with. There are certain people who really don't like praise, or they don't like public praise. There are people who really need it. And this is all super relevant for any kind of relationship. So we're going to take the quiz right here and now, both of us. So you all are going to get to hear who we are a little bit in our answers to the questions. So you can take the quiz as well, and we'll talk a little bit more about that later. But the quiz, I'll say, just to start off with a little bit of a disclaimer with the quiz, It could be improved upon. The question at the beginning, like the very first question, it asks you for your gender, and it only gives you two options of male and female, which we know is definitely not inclusive and not in the spirit of the X in womanhood either.
Mm-hmm.
But you can kind of take or leave it as you would. This is sort of a smorgasbord of information, and you can take what serves you, take what's useful to you, and then leave the rest.
Yes, definitely. So, like I've always heard, you chew the meat and you spit out the bone. So chew all that's good, and then you know go ahead and do more research and knowing how you can also improve in those areas. In this quiz before, but I think it'll be interesting to see if anything has changed. I feel like my top three will stay the same, but we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, I've also taken this quiz more than once. I took
Mhm.
this as a kid, probably around the age of like 12 or 13.
Oh,
My
cool.
mom read the book around then, and so she had me and my siblings all take the quiz, and then we talked about it like as a family. But I'm pretty certain that my answers will have changed. So I'm curious to see what my results are going to be. Do not. I disagree with this quiz. No, I don't. But I was not expecting this result at all. It's definitely changed, and was not what I was expecting at all.
Yeah.
Ugh, what
Same
about
with
you?
mines. I would say like the top three have stayed the same. They're just in different orders. They're just in a different order, but like, wow, it's interesting to know. Like, I can start off by saying like my primary love language is quality time. And before that was like the third one. And words of affirmation was my very first one. So this is really cool to see, but I do agree with what I have, the that being my primary love language. I guess like since over time, like even just being in quarantine, knowing that spending more time with family and things like that, I've realized like, okay, I actually enjoy undivided time with like family, friends, like finding ways to do those things. So yeah, what are yours, Kirsten?
I think that what you just said about quarantine is probably true for a lot of people because that's exactly what happened to me too. So my number one is also quality time. And my top three are also the same but have changed in order. And as I was taking the quiz, I was kind of noticing that where I was like not answering the physical touch option on the quiz because I was like, I can live without it because it's been like a year and I've lived without it, so I can live
Mm,
without it. But yeah, quality time is my number one, and then words of affirmation and physical touch are tied for the other two for me. Which I'm surprised by honestly that quality time came in as number one, but I think it's like I would bet I would love to do it like a qualitative study to like hear from people on
mhm.
if their quality time result has like gone up in this quiz because of the pandemic. I think we
Yeah.
all are learning to value that more and get
Mhm.
more creative with it and everything, which is fascinating to me.
We have like pretty much the same, like quality time, words of affirmation, and physical touch. Those are my top three. So that's really cool.
Would you look at that?
Yeah.
Say that you communicate love using those things like in that same order.
No, that's the thing. Like I noticed that about like myself, like the the um the love language that I have, like I do like the opposite for others. I prefer like giving others gifts and like doing acts of service for them. So that's really cool, but I hope like my significant other or like my friends, like they're okay with like me, like their love language is receiving gifts. Cause if not, it's like, okay, I have to know how to navigate that friendship or relationship and so on. So yeah. So it's definitely flipped for me. So what about you?
Yeah, I would say mine are different as well.
Mhm.
And I've noticed, although I will say, I recently had a conversation with a very good friend of mine about our love languages, and we were kind of both feeling a little like maybe we weren't connecting as much as we would like to be, and like just feeling like she actually asked me like, Kirsten, how can I love you better? It was such a wholesome conversation. But as we were talking, we kind of realized like that I was feeling like we weren't spending enough quality time together. So we kind of started to spend a little more time together. And that is very much in line with the results. But no, I'm big on words of affirmation in terms of the way that I communicate love. And I also like giving gifts and acts of service. But those two are definitely not my like number one like preferred method for receiving it. But it's interesting though, I think just having the awareness of the existence of love languages and having some knowledge about your own and curiosity, genuine curiosity about the love languages of the people in your life can truly help you to give and receive love more effectively, because just having the awareness alone has allowed me personally to look at my relationships. My grandparents are one of my favorite examples. Like, they're not conscious of love languages. They've never taken the quizzes or anything like that, but I'm very conscious of their love languages and the way that I can communicate love to them, and also the way that they give it to me. And so even though we've never had the like conversation explicitly, my awareness of it has allowed me to love them better and receive their love more consciously. So I think that it truly can improve your relationships, just having the awareness alone.
I also feel like it also promotes like selflessness, not selfishness, because like you're focusing on someone else's needs rather than your own. And so that's definitely like, okay, it's not about me. Let me see how I can like be a better friend or be a better partner to this person. So I think that another way that relationships benefit from love language is just maintaining intimacy, just keeping the love tank full, creating like more understanding, and also being able to understand and communicate with your partner or friend, and learn more about each other. Not only learn, but connect in a different way, in deeper and more meaningful ways. So definitely that, and also aiding personal growth. And I think you, Kirsten, touched on this a bit on speaking on just being more self-aware. And so sometimes in society, we have social media, we have all these different platforms out here, and we can be so self-absorbed sometimes. I know I can. I'm like, it's all about me. And it's like, no, girl, it's not. So just being able to, care about someone else and to get out of your comfort zone, to know how to love someone else and how that fosters growth in relationships in general.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think all of those things are very much related to the characteristics that you would find in a healthy relationship, whether it's romantic or platonic. The One Love Foundation, which is an awesome resource, and I would encourage everyone to check them out. So they have this framework called the 10 signs of a healthy relationship that they use in their education model for educating people about healthy and unhealthy relationships and how to love better. And the 10 signs that they've identified of a healthy relationship are comfortable pace, trust, honesty, independence, respect, equality, kindness, taking responsibility, fun, and my favorite, healthy conflict. So I think that the love languages are a really, really good place to start if you're feeling unloved or you're feeling unappreciated, or like your partner just doesn't get it. Like they just don't get you. And to have a conversation, to approach that conversation from the framework of let's seek to understand each other better, which you touched on that, like the importance of like understanding each other. This is a great tool for that. And so engaging in that healthy conflict of like, we're arguing a lot, or we're fighting a lot, or we're not connecting, we're not communicating, we're on different pages. Maybe sitting your partner down and saying, hey, let's take this quiz together side by side, and then let's talk about it. Because I think this is an example that they use in the book, if I remember correctly. But it's the example of a husband and a wife not connecting and being completely like disconnected in their relationship and in their love. And the wife, I think, approaches the husband like, you never tell me that you love me. And the husband is like, what do you mean? I have done the dishes every night this week. I mowed the lawn over the weekend. I took the trash out this morning. Like, I did all these
Yeah.
things. And the wife is like, what are you talking about? But it's clearly like he's communicating through acts of service, whereas she
Hmm.
is wanting to receive words of affirmation.
Yeah.
And so to approach it rather than like, why aren't you telling me you love me? Or like, we're not connecting, to approach
Yeah.
it like, hey, let's engage in this healthy dialogue for a minute and like acknowledge that there's conflict and acknowledge that there's disconnect, and then seek to understand each other better and then love each other better. And this is a fantastic tool to do that. It could be a fun
Yeah.
thing to do on Valentine's Day, honestly.
Yeah, definitely. And I think also it takes a level of vulnerability to be open about that. I feel like sometimes people, they're just like, okay, let me not even just bring it up. But honestly, just being able to open up to this person like, hey, I don't feel like I'm receiving love from you in this way. Like, can we have a conversation like you mentioned and talk about this? Like, what are some ways that we can better support each other? Like, how can we grow and learn each other's love language? So just like Kirsten mentioned, this can definitely be something to do on Valentine's Day or Galentine's Day, because Galentine's Day is February 13th. Get your gals and go out, do something fun, and you all can learn each other's love language and just support each other in that way. So I